On this 50-point inspection from Daydreaming Brewing Company out of, I know they're out of New Hampshire. I don't get a lot of their stuff. They are out of Derry, New Hampshire. They got this beer called Bad Habits, and it's a Rauch-inspired ale. Comes in at 5% ABV. So, no canned-on date. But let's go ahead and crack into this one. Okay, so this pours with a creamy colored head. As you can see there, it's almost yellow like my shirt. It's pretty frothy looking, tight knit bubbles, and the color of the beer itself is a nice rich copper to amber. It is clear. You can see through it in here, so let's get some aromatics from afar. Yeah, I get a little bit of like a bread and like a sweetness. A little bit of like a berry note, maybe. There's something berry or apple-esque about it. A bit of a fruit note from afar. All right, yeah. So it does have a little bit of a kind of smoke. It's very light, but I would say it's like either like a cherry wood. It smells kind of like cherry. I'm getting this kind of like cherry smell with a little bit of smoke behind it. It does have a sweetness as well. There's another kind of smoky note in there. I'm also not sure what they used. They could have used beechwood stuff. Maybe the cherry's coming from something else and it's just mixing in. So not sure if they used cherry wood or what they did to even make this a Rauch style beer. Doesn't smell bad though. I'm kind of getting peanut butter and jelly vibes from the aromas though, so it does have a little bit of a breadiness to it, and it's that cherry's starting to kind of smell like a little bit of a jamminess or something, which is now making me think of peanut butter. It doesn't smell like peanut butter, but that's just kind of where my mind went with this one. So maybe a little jam on toast. Let's go in for the first swig. Cheers. Okay, so it's a light body, kind of a low side medium carbonation. Drying palate to this one. It does have some smoke right up front. And yeah. So just kind of a subtle smokiness. It does go on to the finish as well. I think it does contribute to a bit of bitterness. There's like almost like a char type bitterness on the finish. It's not like super bitter. I'd say it's moderate. Some bready notes, kind of a brown bread type flavor from the malt. There is a touch of like a fruitiness. Still going to lean towards like a cherry type note. But yeah, it's got this kind of smoky sensation, and it even stays on the tongue there afterwards. I would say, like, compared to like the Rauchbiers that I can't even pronounce the name of them, but they come actually out of Germany. It's not as smoky as that. It's just kind of a subtle smokiness that's just noticeable and hangs around, but seems to be blending fairly well with the other flavors in this beer. And 5% ABV. Say lighter body. It's kind of hitting me a little bit on the heftier side, so yeah, maybe like the light side of a medium body. Yeah, I think this is one that Keith from 93 Lumber spelled out would really like. maybe not really like, but you might kind of like it. Anyways, I think it's time for me to go ahead and give this one a score. Okay, I am back. Let's check out the Untapped first. Untapped says, not quite a Rauchbier. We took one of our favorite traditional ales and introduced some smoked malt. The result is a malty, lightly sweet, and subtly smoked beer with a dry finish. Okay. Yeah, pretty much nails the description there. Out of only 20 ratings, this is a pretty small brewery here in New Hampshire. This beer averages out at a 4.01 out of 5, which on my scale, we'll round that to it'd be like a 40 out of 5, which would put it as a good beer. Now, the way I rated it, I went with the appearance being a 6 out of 6. I went with the aromas as an 8 out of 10. Flavor score, I was at a 14.5 out of 19. On the body, 5 out of 5. And for my overall on this one, it's kind of like a 7.5 out of 10. It's definitely not bad. I prefer the Rauchbiers, the ones that have a bit more smoke to them. But this one's nice and subtly done. You get a nice base out of the beer as well. So for Daydreaming Brewing Company and their Bad Habits Rauchbier inspired ale, it's going to get a BuMpY 41 out of 50, which is going to land this as a very good beer. So I just want to say cheers. Thank you all for watching.